Hey there, Janice Petteway, Director of Brokerage Development for Exit Realty Corp International. Hope you're having an awesome day. Today I wanted to talk to you about how much money there is in leads that nobody's messed with for a while. All of you guys are around people that have probably paid for leads in the last several years, and most don't follow up the way that they probably should. So whether that's you or someone in your office, I want you to reach out and start finding out. Sometimes an office has paid for lead generation and then stopped that service, but the leads are still sitting somewhere, and we need to find out if you still have access to them, or even if you personally have people that didn't buy a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever, it doesn't matter. Right now you have the time, and you need to take the time to go back and look and gather them up and start reaching out to them. And it'd be great if they're in some kind of system, but I know you guys, so they just may not be. That's okay. If you don't even know what I'm talking about because you've never had a system that you pay for clicks, pay for leads, well then I want you to go back and just go through your email, and you probably have at least a couple years worth of emails, and just see if anybody requested any information. What about on your phone? What about your text messages? What about your sticky notes or your anything you use to write on? Now is the time to put them all in one place and to get serious about not wasting a human connection that obviously reached out for some reason about that real estate that was for sale then, or an area or whatever. Most people don't do it just for fun. They're at least thinking about it. Maybe they couldn't purchase because the prices were too high and the interest rate was too high. Well, has that been fixed? Maybe it has, because the interest rates have altered. Maybe there was too much competition in their price range because there were so many people out purchasing at that time. Has that been corrected right now? Maybe. So you could definitely help them there. Or maybe they were investors and they wanted to increase their portfolio, but there was too much competition with first-time home buyers, so they kept missing out, wanting a little bit of a discount. Has that changed? Or maybe they're a high-end buyer and they just felt like the sellers were maybe all a little too high, a little too proud of their properties. Right this minute, could there be a little bit more movement in that? Maybe. Could you have to be sure that you know what's going on with jumbo loans right now to get that one to work? Yes, but that's okay. You can do that. All you have to do is call your trusted lender and get the information. But the value of all of those leads is amazing. Every time I tell somebody to do this and they work at a company that actually has a lead generation system that is older, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 years old, and they ask if they can go back to the older ones and go through them, the the leadership of that office usually is like, yeah, I don't have anything to lose. Most of the people working on them have put them as a garbage lead, like they're really never going to do anything. But I found through the years that a lot of people do that when it's a long term, or they're just not getting back to them, or just all those normal realtor irritants that is not making you any money like at that time. But because of all the things I just talked about, what if one or two or three in 100 really are ready to do something now? When people start reaching out for real estate, and they're, especially when they're on sites that are the kind of lead generation sites, sometimes, well, the data says a lot of them are 18 months or even 2 years before they're ready to buy. So they're long term. So when you're going back, what you're going to find in the trash is that a lot of those people did buy. So I want you not to stop when you get that information, because you should have their phone number if they're in the system. And you can just call and say, hey, this is Janice with Exit Realty. Right now, just like everybody, I'm working from home and I have some extra time. So I was just calling the people that are in our system that at one point thought that they may be interested in real estate in the future. And so I'm just checking on you to see if you actually purchased, period. Right now, people seem to be nice. And I think if you have that conversation with them, they'll be nice to you. Maybe now more than ever, people are actually answering their phone. So a great time to go back and clean up some of these leads and see. So a lot of you are going to get a call, answer like that they bought. So what are you going to say? I would suggest that you say, that is wonderful. You were smart to do that. I hope that you and yours are happy and healthy there. Which town did you end up in? And just start a little conversation. And then you could end up saying something like, well, you may think this is kind of a silly question, but does your agent, your realtor, keep up with you on a regular basis? And then just answer them. If they say yes, then just say, wonderful, I wonder if I know who that is. Who did you use? Because that could go one direction. Or if they say, no, I haven't really heard from my agent, then you could just say, okay, I hear that a lot. And I don't want you to be left out there if you ever need a plumber, or electrician, or roofer, or whatever. So I'd love to add you to my family of people that I have helped and will help in the future. That way you can call me if you have any questions that has to do with your structure or real estate. Does that sound good to you? I send out a newsletter, whatever you do. There's going to be a percentage of people that are happy to do that. And then you can just foster that relationship, and maybe they'll hopefully end up sending you referrals. Maybe they decide to buy an investment property, whatever. But let's just say that they love their agent and you jot down who that was and you say that is awesome. I love when someone tells me that their agent was good. And with your permission, if you don't mind, next time I speak to him or her, do you mind me saying that you were happy and that you spoke highly of her? Because right now I think everybody needs some pick-me-up. So I'd like to be able to share that with her. Is that okay with you? Well, people aren't going to say no. So you can probably tell where I'm going with this. That would be a non-recruiting recruiting call, wouldn't it? And that would go like this. Hey, Sarah, this is Janice Petteway with Exit Realty. Hey, I just wanted to let you know I was cleaning up some old leads, some very old leads, and I happened to call someone you sold a house to, and I had to take the time to call you because, right now we're all kind of probably just feeling a little stir crazy and don't know where life is going. And I know if whenever I get something supportive and happy right now, it really gets me through the day. So I had to tell you that Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so at that you sold told me that how great you were and how much they liked you and that you keep up with them. And I just wanted to call and say good job. I know in our office we strive to do that. Not everybody always does it as wonderfully as you do, but we strive. But I just want to say good job and shut up. Listen to what they say, and then just say, then maybe hopefully you can go into how is all this affecting you and yours and then you could go into how about your business, we're doing this, or you could have a conversation. You guys, you wouldn't have had that conversation without doing this exercise. And right now, because people are home and there's not as much going on, maybe it's the time for you to learn how to have good conversations with other agents, right? So I'll see you tomorrow.